So how do you get paid when you're in a sandwich lease and you don't have title to the property? How do you get paid? Well, this is an interesting one because after going through several closings now, we have kind of mastered this as far as how the attorneys do it, how the title companies do it, how everyone perceives it, how the seller is going to see what you make. I get all these types of questions. And this one was, well, how do you get paid? How do you make sure you get paid at closing? How do you make sure all the numbers work? Let me go through it with you. Hi, my name is Prefontaine. Welcome to Thursday Q&A, and I want to address this whole issue around what happens at the closing of a sandwich lease, essentially, because you're not on deed. Okay, I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. I contemplated doing this on a whiteboard, and it's just more simple, I think, if I address it directly with you. Here's what happens. So, at the beginning of the sandwich lease, you told your seller, my purchase price is payoff of your loan and X amount of cash, or payoff of your loan. In our agreements, in section 8, the liens on the property are listed, and in section 13, they and you check off, I'm buying this property for the balance of the loans listed in 8, or I'm buying this property, 13B, I'm buying this property for the loans listed in 8, plus X amount of cash. I'm not going to get into a whole explanation of that. That's in the sandwich lease module in the QLS video program. But just understand, those are the sections in our agreements. Tens of thousands of hours went into these agreements. I hope you're using them. Now, here's what happens. Okay, closing's coming up. Some banks, some underwriters, depending if your buyer went local or your buyer went to our specialist, it's not ours, it's just somebody we use and all our associates use, his name is Jason. It just depends on what the underwriter wants. A lot of underwriters and banks would like to see a clean purchase and sale agreement between your seller and your buyer at the nth hour before they get financing. It's just cleaner for them. And some use our regular agreements and they run through with it and they're okay. It just depends. I've had about 50-50. If they want a new purchase and sales, no big deal. Have the attorney execute a purchase and sale between your seller and your buyer. What about me? How do I get paid? Don't worry. You executed a notice of option or a real estate memorandum or whatever it is that you're going to call it in your state, and you recorded that when you installed your tenant buyer. Now you clouded the title. That house is not going anywhere without your sign off. Now, I like to get my attorney involved. It's not a necessity. I just know, and I've experienced, when my attorney's involved calling the parties closing this deal, I get the release sent over to him for the notice of option release. I sign it. Now they have clear title. I'm assured they're going to wire my attorney and I'm going to get my funds. I like it that way. It feels a lot more comfortable. There's a bunch of nuances with that we can address in the training itself, the QLS, as well as our live mastermind calls every week, because there's all kinds of nuances here. But here's what happens. The HUD. There's not an attorney I've met that, unless they've done our deals already, that knows how this works. So I don't insult them. I just said, look, if you haven't done a lot of lease purchase cash outs, right before you're going to get the final CD or HUD or settlement statement, whatever they call it in your area, please give me a call and we'll go over it. They're usually fine with that. Then I get the CD or the settlement statement or the HUD, and typically it says all the normal things, buyer side, seller side. It says in the bottom left column, it says cash to seller, typically. So the last one I got said cash to seller, $51,000. I said, whoa, okay, here's the adjustments I said to the title company. They get a fixed $16,900. That's what it said in my section 13 on my sandwich lease agreement, my lease purchase agreement. They get $16,900. That's it, in the payoff of their loan. So what do you do with this? Well, you say to them, look, that $51,000, that should say $16,900. Here's my agreement. Okay, they changed that. Now where's all the other money go? They put a line item for the seller's expenses for that difference of that. So it's called 17 and 51, whatever that is. 15? 14? 14. 34, sorry. 34 grand. So 34,000 went as the seller's expense, and what it was called was a option release fee. That's it. Option release fee. Some underwriters will want to call it something else. You don't care. You just don't want to call the commission. You're not a realtor. Option release fee. So that's all you do for a tweak, by the way. I'll give you one little nuance here to make you a little bit more money, but when it says seller cash out 51,000, you're going to go, no, here's my agreement. In 13B, it says they get this amount. That's a set amount. All the other expenses come off of me, therefore, whatever's left goes on the seller side. Now, if in your agreement, in the section that says who pays what, you knew they were getting cash out, we do this now, we didn't originally, you knew they were getting cash out, you wouldn't offer to pay their seller transfer tax unless you had it for negotiation reasons. We don't anymore. If they're getting cash out, we learned that they expect to pay their seller transfer tax. Whereas before we were offering, hey, we'll pay it. Now, if you really want that deal, or if you negotiate and you're trying to make their net better, fine. Tell them you pay the seller transfer tax. It's not a lot of money in most states. And there's one state, I think, or maybe more, that has none. Okay? So, I hope that makes sense. Now, here's the other thing we did. On that one deal that I'm thinking about with the 51, that was the most recent. I said, what can and should offset the 16.9? Well, this was a deal where she needed a purchase and sales agreement, so she needed to hire an attorney. I told her, you should have someone represent you. So it cost, I think it was $450. That was listed on the seller expenses. So ordinarily, if she got her 16.9, who would in theory be paying that $450? Us. So what I said to the title attorney was, 16.9, off of that, I want you to take the $25 recording fee for my notice of option release, because they were going to charge me. I said, no, that should be her expense. And then I want you to take your $450 that you charge her, because that's her expense. So she got like whatever that comes to, 16.4. So it's not a lot of money, but there's ways to look at that CD, that settlement statement, or that HUD, and extract a couple more expenses that could and should be justifiably off the seller. You don't have to. I'm just giving you nuances that we've done throughout the hundreds of deals. And so the short answer on this is you get your funds as a notice of option release fee. And another thing important for you to know is, I think part of the question this gentleman sent in was, how does the buyer get credit for their deposit? That's easy, guys. This is a purchase agreement, a lease purchase agreement that the rent-to-own buyer does. So on that settlement statement on their side, it's going to show, sale price $210. I think this one was like $294 or something. And then it's going to say down payment $10,000. Then their loan, same as always. They get credit for their deposit if you use the right forms. So make sure you're using the right forms. And make sure, I'm sorry for the long answer today, but that's super important for you to close these deals. Now, if we're doing them with you and you're an associate, obviously we'll help you walk through this. But if you're not, these Q&A videos in the deal structure videos on Sundays, if you subscribe to the channel, they'll get you through a lot of these deals. So be sure you are subscribed, by the way. And I'm sorry for my pointer finger. I was setting up to do this video for you guys, and I broke a bulb and I tried to clean it up. Just keeping it real for you. So be sure to subscribe here on the page so you get all these videos. And guys, please, make sure you get your butt into the QLS video program, Quantum Leap System. There's no other platform. It lives on Smart Real Estate Coach Academy. There is no other platform currently, as I'm filming this video, in the real estate business, giving you everything we do here. Nothing is held back. A through Z, you can build a business. Nothing. And on top of that, we give you free strategy calls. We give you mastermind calls. We give you live seller calls that are in the states we can. We give you a free ticket to our event. It's just off the charts. So get yourself to the next QLS live event. We do them once a year. I look forward to seeing you there. And be sure to stay tuned and stay subscribed. And please rate us on our podcast, smartrealestatecoachpodcast.com. Make it a great week. Hey, I really appreciate you watching these Q&A videos. I hope you find them helpful. I want to help you even further, though. I want you to personally go ahead and leave your most burning 1, 2, or 3 questions on the comment section below. Go ahead and do that now. I'll go ahead and answer your questions live on a video. I promise you. We'll get that done for you in the next few months. Could be days, but watch for it, and we'll address your questions. And by the way, how would you like it if you could ask those live questions every single week to one of our team members privately? How would you like to, in addition to that, ask our entire group of associates those live questions every single week? You can do that. Just become an associate by applying on the link below. We'll see if it's a fit for you. We'll see if your area is still open, and perhaps we can be working one-on-one together. That would be pretty cool. Be sure to subscribe below as well so you don't miss any of these Q&A videos. Doesn't take many, guys. Remember the old saying, small hinges open big doors. One idea, one deal this year can be an absolute game changer for you if you apply below now, and we'll have that live conversation. Oh, by the way, don't forget to subscribe below. You're going to want to not miss any of these videos. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't do that, and I look forward to seeing you on future videos if you want to keep on these Q&As.